curious lipstick. Are you at all nervous about going through with the plan? Perhaps a little, but I can only trust in our abilities. Why are you nervous? I keep asking myself if we've missed something. We've been over it many times. It's as sound as anything I've designed. Oh, Annotatus. Alchemy itself, it's a science, but alchemy's effect on the world are like anything else, impossible to predict. I don't know about that. Some things are eminently predictable. And the responses like that one are surely one of them. Oh, shit. The Glyph of Disposal removes unneeded atoms from the board. Where disposed atoms go is poorly understood and a matter of some debate among theorists. Look how much space it takes up. That thing is a is a monster. This is what we want? Oh my god. Yeah, this is gonna take some time. It says Oberon, Brick, I wonder what that is. So this is to get rid of the pink pairs for this, I'm assuming. Yeah, it definitely is. We have salt. We have as much salt as we ever wanted. We're gonna need this too to make sure that this gets paired together. These two get paired together. And what kind of mess is this? This thing. It's just a monster. Usually I feel like my shock happens. It's like quick to get moving. I'm assuming that I'd make this ring on its own and then connect it to this half, because manipulating this entire thing is massive. Like, if I had to just rotate the whole thing down once, it takes up so much space. What needs to go in this thing again? 2 atoms of neutral salt. Oh no. So we need to figure out these two in a way that's not absurd as well. One of these can be for this half, potentially, and one of them could be for this half of our problem. Whoops. Trying to move it around. This is what happens when I come in blind. Thinking just takes so much time. What kind of monster? I think, honestly, this side will be easier to do in some ways. Because the actual structure itself is easy. You just kind of keep pivoting the thing around until it works for you. This one's gonna have to shift around. And if I'm only using one of these, I want them to be kind of close together so that if I have to pull from both of them, of the vats, if one of the steps takes like way too long, there's access for it. But I'm guessing, because I'm not the greatest at programming stuff, overlapping them will just add more spots that like they both grab from the same time, and that would be messy too. Cha. Okay. Let's see if I can get at least half of this done today. it takes 2 to kind of reach it. That will trash it. Nope, it has to be 1 down. Does this get it out of the way fast enough? I feel like my hang-up about not understanding how certain lines repeat and certain lines don't is going to become a problem in this puzzle. Eventually, it will have to be thrown somewhere else. So the current problem now is that once this ring is completed, 5's in the center of it, which is not the way we want to do this. So 5 is going to have to go the other way. Because if 5 is in the center, the problem becomes getting it out of the ring. So 5 has to pivot it back at least once, if not twice. What I'm trying to figure out is when I want a test that happens every time. That if there is a ring that's here, after 5 like repeats itself, then it's good to go to be moved. I think it'll grab it before the last bond is ready. I think this is good in some sort of theory, but might not be the total answer. Because I think when it moves it 1 to the right from here, it'll end up colliding with 4. So 6's test has to be too long. That did it. Oh my god. So it's like a test to make sure that it's moving, basically. And that gets us the bottom one. This whole thing is gonna have to move down. But it does mean that we have a complete ring done off of a single salt, and its product ends up here. That was pretty efficient, and it also, this is where the issue around when things repeat will become a problem with this. This happens in such a short amount of time and cycles. I guess it is extended, so it's 100 cycles to finish. So this whole thing needs to finish in that amount of time. And if it gets longer than 20, I'm curious to see if it'll repeat itself and go back to the beginning automatically, or if I'm gonna have to like figure out the timing of repeating the instruction, which I've done in the past, and it's a bit annoying. Like, it works, but it's not the most efficient thing. Let's see where it ends, so then I can have a good template for this thing. This is the end stage, which means ultimately we're gonna want to bond this will be here, this monster will be here, it'll bond, and then I'll probably have something to kind of swing it out. If that's the plan though, to have all this happen up top and have the final thing swing out eventually, that really means that we will want to have this sort of thing done up top. This shows the bottom of what we want. I kind of want to have the stylistic choice in adding this to show the rest of the rings, because I think it looks cool. I guess we could also have the outline of where I want this final thing to be too. That's where we want the final thing to be and look like. So if I end up having to kind of like manipulate this thing in different rotations, I'll have at least the footprint of where it's supposed to be at the end. Yeah, okay. So this is the glyph of duplication, just as a reminder. The glyph of duplication transmutes a salt atom into one of 4 cardinal elements by imbuing it with the essence of an existing atom. So we just need to throw a salt into it. This is going to do a similar thing as the stuff up, or I should say down here. But once it comes back, 7 will just kind of repeat itself for a bit. I think 8 can grab it here and move it down. Repeat. Once again, we have the same problem as the last time with making the 5, where I kind of jammed it into a spot that makes it difficult for it to move around. Once it hits here, 9 can test it every single time by moving it 1 to the right. This is the right shape. Crap. How do we time the 6th one if this is repeating itself? That's got to be part of this puzzle, right? Is now that we have everything else going, repeating itself, 6 is like innately different. This is what I meant by like being off sync here. This one starts over again, and then these are still highlighting in the same line. This is 1, 2, 3. These are the earth. When this is done, that's when 6 can move 1 to the right. Let it pass through, repeat itself, move it to red. This is where the repeating stuff gets crazy, because I want 8 and 9 to continue doing whatever they were doing. And they don't. And I also want this to continue whatever it's doing. But it doesn't. Because these are here? How does that make any sense? I wish there was a button to say, repeat the line. Not just whatever this does. It creates a sequence of instructions that will repeat the preceding set of instructions. That's not quite what I want. Adding this made a mess. having this wait for so long also creates a mess. This is when the trick of this starts getting crazy. Okay, cool. I'm back. Great, great. Now we are back to this maddening thing. During my excellent break, I realized that maybe the solution is to have 2 of these going. That way that we have the green being created, being checked with 9, and then this is being created totally separately in the same amount of time. So we can keep, this is the first one that I've been so cautious on cycles because I'm so worried about not understanding why certain tracks will highlight for a certain amount of time and then suddenly not want to repeat. So if I can leave these alone and not have to like manually repeat them, that would be the best case scenario. So if I remove all the repeats, I just want to take one more check before I start making a whole nother wheel. But oddly enough, as long as this is my problem, right? I want to have this lower part continuing to repeat itself, but I want to be able to change the instructions along 6. And if I start just placing 6 down to randomly like turn somewhere, will these continue to repeat itself? Because I would want this to happen like way out here. It's just to turn once to the left to make it fire. It worked. Oh my god. And it was the perfect spot. That is so coincidental and incredible. Let's check that again. It'll make the full green set. And then it needs to go this. It has to double back. That was some crazy timing. Now I'm just trying to get lucky and time this last one. Like, why did 9 suddenly stop working? Yeah, this is starting to get messy again. Why was it working perfectly fine to get to the salt the first time? This is changing the length. Because now it works. So I could safely put the fire one here. Maybe this is the part that I need to see with fresh eyes. I'm not sure why it suddenly starts spazzing out. Why 6 does. I'll watch it again. It makes it all the way down. And then it repeats the beginning instruction here. How did adding this mess up the green part? It makes no sense. Yes, I'm completely having trouble with looping. This works so beautifully. We've got the green going. I'll just show it while we go. It's stunning, beautiful. Look at this. This is exactly what I want, this section. We've got the salt, starting it fresh, then it starts looping here. And it turns it to water, and all of my hopes and dreams just go down the toilet. This whole thing's working great. We get the whole loop over here. It sometimes slows down for almost no reason. When I start adding crap here, I'm definitely having trouble looping would be the kind way to put it. Frustrated with it for sure. And I don't know, because I tried timing it here for the last salt, and it just turns to crap as well. Or I guess it was air, not water. But still, same problem. And I'm not sure what would keep it from doing that without adding so many cycles to everything else. Are you familiar with sine waves? Somewhat. It's been a while since I've had to look at a sine wave in since I graduated. I guess I'm unsure why certain things, why everything here continues to loop itself. Everything's beautiful. And I feel like adding the extra part here extends the cycle of some other ones. So sometimes when I add it to the 6 is the, what is this called? The wheel. When I add to 6's wheel, it'll sometimes elongate some of the other cycles in addition to having this like other problem. It feels interconnected, but 2 different problems. Okay, so sine waves have a wavelength and that repeats forever. The arms have a wavelength and repeat forever. The arms have an arm wavelength. Except that each arm is forced to have the same wavelength by the game. That makes total sense on why the 2 issues are like getting slammed together. That by adding, let's see if I get this straight from your analogy. Because I'm adding to this, it becomes its own little, this is the length of this wave, and suddenly it starts looping again, and this is why I'm having the air problem. But also it's extending it somehow game-wise because it's so far out from everything else that it starts extending other stuff to keep it working. Adds padding at the end to make it nice and pretty. So the extra space at the beginning of your instructions for a particular arm just changes where the sine wave starts. It changes the phase. Do I need to throw something at the beginning of 6 to make it feel complete, so that it's a long wave, but it'll be okay. If you do, it will slow it way down. No, that's totally what I'm trying to avoid in this beautifully executed solution, is to have it slowed down a ton. Maybe the solution is to just ball out with my infinite money and have 2 wheels going at the same time, so that I don't have to, I can work around this problem. I'll make the green one on this wheel, and I'll just ball out and make the other wheel this thing. And then maybe the wavelengths will be closer together, so I don't end up messing with the game's padding or the wheel repeating like this short segment. Your explanation helps so much. Yeah. I think I've been frustrated with this problem before on other puzzles too. But I was able to like work around it with my bad coding. But I don't know if I can do that this time. I might end up having to pad it out here, because if I have this repeat on another sector to kind of like complete the salty fire bit, this isn't done. This is halfway done. Which is why it would be so perfect for this to do both of them. Because that would do 3, it would finish its 3rd one, and then the timing would be impeccable. But that's, you know, the hit that might have to happen with the explanations. That, thank you so much. Is it P Menso or Menso? Silent P? Much appreciated. Yeah. What? Oh no. My plan is immediately foiled. You have 1 wheel. It's not like all the other pieces where you can have more than 1. You get 1 disposer thingy, and you get 1 wheel. Oh, what a problem. When this is making this thing, everything's happening off to the right. Great. That means potentially, I'm just trying to figure out how to get around all of this. If I move this part of the puzzle over just a little bit, move the solution way over. Maybe I can use, whoops, not this one. Yes, this one. Here. Somehow get a salt down here. Questionably how that would happen. Don't move the wheel. Can I grab it from down here? Oh no, this is where things get like stupid smart. Do I not move the wheel so I don't have my wavelength problem? Pick up my salt from down here. Link the 2 puzzles. This is a tough spot because there's not enough room. It's not the best solution, but I think it is a solution. Is this what I want? With the extendo arm, I can give myself the liberty of a little bit extra space to make the thing. All right, I'm opting for the hopefully making this whole thing under 20 cycles to make this little part. No, I'm like working my way out of one solution, but the problem is once they're both done, they need to be sorted out as well. It would fix it if all I needed to do was make these two pieces, but that's not true either. This is kicking my butt. It's not quite as perfect as I want it to be. I might have to manually repeat these. That's how I've gotten around it in the past. And just hope that this repeats it in a wavelength that's not disgustingly slow. But if it repeats it, well, this is on its own world to code for this, then so be it. Yeah, I think you could see it on this one. Repeating and manually kind of telling it what to do ends up with its own hiccups. It's waiting for it on the flip side of things. That's where I'm getting this extra one. It's waiting all this time because it's repeating. I think this might be one of the solutions where I need to walk away and come back with a better solution. I found sometimes when I get really tired, like with the last puzzle, the explosion one, I felt like I was just mentally a little exhausted, and I ended up finishing that one and solving my problems really quickly when I came back after a break. I'll stream again tomorrow, so I will give this another shot, but this has got my head going. I've been doing this for like almost 2 hours, so I think this might be the time, because I'm repeating me doing this BS is me repeating a bad solution that I already tried, and I've tried it twice before. So I think this is where I've gotta have my thoughts kind of air out and get my head around my newfound information. I hope you have a great evening too. And yeah, I don't know. Are you playing this game right now, or have you finished this game completely and are doing all the extra puzzles? Just out of curiosity. Most of it. Fair enough. I feel like this is one of the games that, I don't know, everyone has their own solution to. So it's nice to see other people struggle. And like see their, not actually struggle, see their own solutions. That's what I actually mean. But yeah, it's cool cool that you stopped by the Twitch whatever, the Twitch category for Magnum Opus. I feel like it's such an unpopular one. And also to just struggle on stream is its own beast that I've opted into. I mean, I'm on chapter 5, so clearly I'm comfortable enough with kind of putzing around around the whole thing. But yeah, it's good to have your experience here. This game is about finding solutions which the maker feels is elegant by whatever measure. I like your quotes around elegant, because elegant for me on a lot of them have been just finding the solution and being like, oh, finally. And some of them feel like, like that is the perfect, most efficient option. I'm so happy. It looks beautiful. It's compact or whatever the thing is. But it's definitely more challenging. I felt like I was zooming through the first couple chapters, and this chapter has definitely thrown me for a loop. We are back at Opus, and we're gonna continue Curious Lipstick today. The last time I was pretty concerned about the different ways that each loop kind of repeats itself. Don't know if I can get fully out of it today or not, but hopefully I have a little bit more patience. I know this might be a little fiddly, but I'm really hoping to just complete the thing. Let's see where it is, step by step. I know that this bottom section completely works, and it's coded up here. I'm working on the bottom half, which has to do with this section, which is that's like top half. I was trying to find a way that this wouldn't happen, the extra one wouldn't be added on. And also a way to construct this thing as well. I'm not sure if I should totally redo this bottom section because it's working without the repeats. So let's just see what that looks like. This was kind of like a check to see like, oh, is it done? And then it moves it out of the way. I think the way to do this is that we're gonna need to have both of these completed in tandem. I know that I considered not doing it this way, but I am pretty unsure of the way to do it otherwise. The other way to do it that I just considered is that it goes through this whole system once, then 3 times to make this one, then put all 3 through fire, then salt the last ones. Instead of turning it to make a salt, maybe it'll just turn once somewhere here. Let's see when it does it. It just repeats it once it gets here, right? Interesting. That is totally not what I thought was gonna happen. So it does the whole green section a good couple of times before it gets here. And then once it gets here, it starts to repeat this. Here it goes down the line. Should I put the wait command somewhere in here? Like just make this thing 3 long. Let's see what it looks like. I think that's what this whole entire episode's gonna end up being, is a lot of little bits of fiddling around with this thing. Yeah, if you're a frustrated viewer, this is not the one for you. This is gonna be a lot of fiddling around. It can go out to here. Without an issue with the earth ones. I think that maybe if I can totally pad out 6 with exactly what I want it to happen, it might work, but it seemed like it all extended. I don't think I'm explaining this well. The idea is that these have like certain wavelengths, certain times before they repeat stuff. If I start with 6 and totally code every moment of it, instead of trying to wait for it to get to a certain point in the middle, then maybe it will work. But then it looks like it pads out all this extra space. Like, look at all this waiting time. And I'm not 100% sure why that does that. It's kind of frustrating. And there's not 2 wheels. There's only 1 wheel of everything. The wheel will slowly kill me. Let's see. That's 10 is almost the equivalent of 7. Except that it runs into it. Ugh, that's gonna be too bad. Well, this gets us what we want. I really am going for a desperate Hail Mary type of attempt. I feel like most of my solutions have been kind of reasonable to this point. I don't think so anymore. I think this has become, yeah, I'd say pretty desperate, honestly. After this drops it off, we're gonna want to pick it up, go to the left, because 10 swings all the way over here. We don't want it to be interrupted. Oh my god, this is what I want. Jeez. This is incredible. This is progress. When this is done, we need another gripper here. and it will do one thing. It'll grab this thing, move it on a crazy track ride, to 9, where it will be somehow brought all the way down here to be assembled, right? Yeah, this isn't nuts in a extreme cost and area. I would love to see a solution after this. I know that one of the people have dropped in on the stream before. Jamjest has an archive of their solutions. I might look at it after this because I feel convoluted making this solution. Cool. So 12 will eventually. This is the same problem that I had before, so I know I'm going down this trap. It will eventually grab something and swing it to the right. 9 technically is exactly what this is doing. Oops, I meant for it to start moving down the track at some ability, and I was hoping that maybe I could move 9 to do their thing as well, but let's just see how this pans out. It'll definitely hit something on its way down. It'll have to swing it, I think, again. This is the other question. What do I do with 9? Do I also make 9? Because it has to move it out of the way. Do I put 9 over here too? Oh, jeez. The timing of it is perfect. Okay, so it just moved too far down. I think this is where the weight it might have to come in. I think I'm going crazy because I think this might work. Yep, I was totally crazy. It started moving before it was done. This has 4 bonds. That wait command is just asking for trouble. Yeah. I made a crazy solution. Once it gets it, what it needs to do is start moving down a track. Okay, maybe this can this happen faster? There goes chat bots being wild. What? I don't even know how that happened. I'm having such trouble. Yeah, I'm making another copy because I feel like I'm making a mess. I might not be able to solve this today. I very honestly think it might not happen today. This number, for whatever reason, is giving it quite a hard time. Oh my gosh. And part of the problem is that this thing is trying to make a thing at the same time on a loop. And I don't really want to copy someone's solution. I want to make my own nuts one. I just don't think I've made a solution quite like this one before. Extending both these seemed to be a bad idea. These systems make the pieces. Oh, that alone feels like its own mini success. What do I do from here? I need to connect them. Definitely need to connect them. Need to get the orange ones down here and the green ones up there, and both of them bonded so that the left curve of the fire and the middle curve of the green one is totally undisturbed. Easy. I feel so close to finishing this crazy contraption and doing it really slowly. I feel like I haven't really explained what I've been doing to this point. I feel so concentrated. I'm trying to break up each individual piece and then have like a check where, like for example, this thing, these two grippers are moving with nothing in them, just waiting for this thing to get there. So it doesn't make the cycle count really high. I still have no clue how it's going to actually be submitted into like this area for the thing. Does it get pushed all the way up? You know, I don't know. There's no way this thing isn't gonna hit that. I'm gonna make a solution and then not be able to put it into the winning area. I think the first step to all of this is making these steps slightly slower. I'm trying to line up the time of the bottom section completing at the similar time as the top section. By making it kind of stutter, it gets it closer so that this doesn't happen. It happens too quickly almost. And I'm not sure if the wait command would be even appropriate for that area, so I'm trying to make the top half just like, yeah, stutter a little bit. This ring was totally finished. It's a start. It just looks kind of ridiculous. Seems like it's coming from 12 is the issue, but I'm not really looking at the other area. One more time while I'm watching the fire. This one is taking all of my brain power. I worked on it for a stream already, and this is the second long stream that I've done. Just kind of hoping for the best here. Trying to time out creating this thing. It's the end of chapter 5. It's made a real mess for me, and this is where I'm at. I made this thing stutter like crazy, hopefully getting it closer to the end of this being completed. But I've learned the further I put this out, the longer this takes. It added extra padding there. So I'm just got to change the placement of 16. Jeez, 16. Yeah, this is definitely my one of the bigger solutions I've done so far. I came in with a lot of patience, trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Yeah, and I think it's just gonna be exactly that. I think it'll just take a little bit more patience. I feel so close to the solution, and once it's done, I'll be on the bottom of all the stats and I can move on with this game. This has been the most challenging puzzle so far, which is both delightful and horrific. I have no clue if this will even make more than one thing, because the timing is so bad. I'm pretty sure this is gonna hit 5. I'm gonna try it anyway. Didn't hit it. It didn't hit it. Let's see if this will make more than let's see if it fits the right shape. That's a start. Oh my gosh. Now let's take it to the test of making 6 of these 600G babies. This is where we're gonna have it. This whole right side is faster. 7 through 10 is pretty spread out. Let's try spreading out the 11 area. I'm pretty sure 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 don't need to be slowed down. I think those ones are fine. Something's not right. It's hitting at the same point here. So I might be making things like artificially slower for me to have to sit through, but I don't think it's actually making it a better solution. Because it seems to be extending this as well. Like, I don't know why there's all this extra space here when this could continue to move. The grippers that do this are 1 through 5. What if I just repeated 1 through 5 again? Oh my gosh, it worked. That means that some of this artificial spacing can come back. So instead of trying to slow down the Berlo wheel section, I tried to speed up the first section by doubling it. We need them to complete each of their independent cycles as close as possible to each other. I kind of saw this coming. That this was just going to be a horrific solution. But yeah, this is the whole thing, so you can see it all at once. It was actually higher up than I thought it was going to be on the histograms. I thought it was going to be way lower. I thought it was going to be like these areas. Granted, it's not that great. Turns out I'm also just a little below in terms of cycles, which I'm also surprised at. Yeah, a lot of that end bit was timing, but I'm so happy I'm done with that. I hope Clara will survive. It so happens that I quite like her. She'll get the non-lethal dose as long as she doesn't lick her lips. I mean, afterwards, surely that would not eliminate all of the suspicion. It may depend upon how well she can act the part of innocent, oblivious house heir. Luckily, it seems she's quite practiced at that. It's unfortunate that circumstances compel her to hide her intelligence that way. Especially when she's in fact the smartest person I've ever met. Wait, really? More than me? I'm surprised that they're trying to have her put some sort of a poisonous type lipstick on. It must have been written by a dude. I feel like there's no way that you don't end up getting lipstick everywhere. Like, just bits of it here and there. It's dangerous stuff. I really was hoping that this is the end of the chapter.